Then the last question, which is question 10, the 15 marker. And actually, for some reason, this question was actually removed from the paper. I think everyone that did this paper got 15 marks. Actually, I'm not entirely sure why it was removed. I've heard, different reasons given online. Alright, so if anyone does know, the actual specific reason why this was removed, then I guess just, let people know in the comments. Right, anyway, let's read what it says. Right, so a program is required to allow students to calculate the volume of a number of standard three-dimensional shapes. It will use functions to allow other shapes to be added in the future. Right, so I guess cuboid, the volume, right, base times depth times height. Right, triangular prism, right, so half base times depth times height. I guess just half of the one above. Right, then spheres, so that's 4/3, then pi r cubed. Alright, and it's saying pi is a constant with value 3.142. Okay, alright, and actually I've just realised here that actually we technically don't even need to rewrite this formula. We can actually just do a half of the cuboid function. So I guess we could reuse that function kind of if we wanted. Right, then it says write a program that meets the following requirements. Output a menu to ask the user for an input to indicate the shape for which volume they need to be calculated. Right, from the three shapes given, or if they want to stop the program. Right, the program must validate the input. Alright, so I guess probably we can just give them a menu with options, 1 to 4. Or of course, 1 being the cuboid, right, 2 being the triangular prism, 3 being the sphere, and then 4 being exit. Right, then 2, we want to input the data needed to calculate the volume of the chosen shape based on the given formulae. Right, calculate one function for create. Right, create one function for each shape to calculate and return the volume using the given formula. Right, each function uses the input data as parameters. Alright, so I guess that's the key thing, right? We actually want to pass the base, the height, the length, pass that into the functions as parameters. Right, then we want to output the volume in the main program rounded to 2 decimal places. Right, the program continues until the user inputs the stop operation from the menu. You must use pseudocode, program code, and add comments to explain how your code works. Right, so this is kind of different, where here they say we actually do need to declare variables and constants. Whereas usually they don't. Right, and also all inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. Alright, so let's just go ahead and do this, and I've copied the instructions already. Right, so I guess the first one, we can probably just declare this constant pi. Generally it's a good idea to declare your constants at the top. Right, so let's go pi, and I think for for IG, right, we just use the assignment operator, right, to assign a value to a constant. Right, and I guess then, so here then we want to declare all of our variables. So I guess first we want the menu choice. Of course, just 1 to 4, right, so what the user chooses. Right, and then I guess everything else like length, height, etc. They're all going to be reals. So I think let's just go integer, and then we can probably declare the others now. Right, so what is it we need? Right, okay, we need base, we need depth, we need height. Right, is there anything else? I guess also radius. Alright, and all of those, they're all going to be real. And I think, alright, so I guess maybe we can also, so maybe we can also have the volume, right, we can just store that. Although I guess we don't really need to, because we can probably just directly output that, to be honest. Alright, so I think probably the volume, so here I'm going to include it. Now the reason I'll include it is because basically if we store the volume, right, then we actually don't have to copy the round function 3 times. Alright, we can just assign the sort of shape, the shape volume, right, to this volume variable. Then we can just output the volume rounded, 1 time. Kind of after the user menu. I think that's fine. Alright, so what we need to do then, we just need to repeat everything until the user enters 4. So let's just go that right. Let's go repeat until, and that's going to be until the menu choice is equal to 4. Alright, and then inside here, this is where we're going to ask the user to enter the menu choice. And I guess it says we also need to validate it. Right, so we're also going to need another loop that's basically just validating that it's between 1 and 4, right? There are options. So I think let's have an output here. Right, okay, yeah. Although actually here I'm thinking that if we have to show the menu twice, right, that's going to be quite long. I think maybe the second error message, right, we can just say, I don't know, yeah, error, please enter a value 1 to 4, right? We don't really need to show the menu choice again. Right, so yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get on a shape, shape volume calculator. Yeah, I mean, you don't really need this kind of title, yeah, although I'm just going to put it. Alright, and to be honest, what you'd want is in the exam, well, you then just want to get output. Obviously, you have, I don't know, have, you know, sort of option 1, right, that's going to be, that's going to be what the cuboid, cuboid volume, right, of course, yeah, then you'd want to get output 2, right, triangular prism volume. However, I'm just going to do it here, right, just as a kind of multi-line string. And the reason I'm going to do that is because basically on the site, that will then all output in the input prompt that pops up. Right, whereas if we have multiple outputs, well, then only the most recent output will actually pop up on that input prompt. Although I guess, all the outputs will appear here, right, in the output terminal. Right, okay, so cuboid volume, right, 2, that's what, triangular prism. Let's make it like lowercase. Triangular prism volume. Right, 3, that's going to be the sphere volume. And then 4, well, that's going to be exit. Right, then we just want to input that into menu choice, and right here then is where we can just have a while loop. So let's go while, and right, while menu choice is less than 1, or menu choice is greater than 4. Right, let's go do. Right, and what we want to say, I don't know, let's go output. Right, let's say error. Right, let's go on a menu choice should be between 1 and 4. Right, let's say try again. Right, and again, let's just input into menu choice, and yeah, that should be okay. Right, okay, yeah, so here then we could just have, if statement, right, so yeah, if, else, and then obviously, nested ifs. However, I think since we have 4 options, then probably a case statement is going to be better. So yeah, let's go case of, and right, the thing we're checking is going to be the menu choice. Right, okay, yeah, so if the choice is 1, well then what I guess we can do, we can just ask them to input, the base width height. So let's go output, enter base length, or, base length is fine. Alright, base length of cuboid. Right, then we're just going to input that. And right, that's going to be into base, and then I think I'm just going to copy this because it's basically the same thing. Right, and then I guess, right, okay, depth. Right, let's go enter depth of cuboid. Right, and then I guess just height. That should be fine. Right, so right. So now what we want to do, we want to create the different functions. I'm just going to go here. Right, let's go function, and I guess, let's call it like cuboid, right, cuboid volume. Right, and here we're going to take in 3 parameters. Alright, I think what I'm going to do, let's go on a BDH. Or I guess you could also call it, base depth height again. Right, base depth height, let's go real, and here, right, let's go returns, and of course it's also going to return a real. Right, and I think, so here we can do this just in one line actually. Let's go return, and what this is, well, of course, the base times the depth times the height. Sort of quite simple there. Right, so what we then want to do is we just want to assign that to volume. So let's go volume, and we're then going to assign the cuboid volume, right, the parameters, right, of course, well, that's going to be these inputs that they've typed in. Right, so that's going to be base, depth, and height. That should be fine. Alright, and then I think we can basically just copy that because, so number 2 is really going to be the same. Right, so here I guess it's going to be what, triangular prism. Right, so what's the formula for that? I think it's the same, right, but then just half. Alright, so that's quite easy. Let's just copy that. Right, so let's go, I know, triangular prism volume, and I guess, alright, I guess let's do all of this, and then we can then just divide that by 2. That should be fine, and then here, right, let's go triangular prism volume. Alright, and then yeah, actually I'm going to copy this one. Right, and then let's say for number 3, well, that's just going to be the sphere. Right, okay, so the sphere, well, that's just going to need the radius. Yeah, okay, right, yeah. Yeah, so just the radius, because of course, well, pi is going to be constant. Right, so enter the radius, right, of the sphere. Right, then we can just, yeah, delete those. Right, let's sort of copy this again. Right, let's go sphere. Yeah, sphere volume. Right, so here we're only taking one parameter. Of course, that's going to be the radius. Right, so this one, I guess. Right, okay, yeah, all right. So it's going to be what, 4/3. So let's go that. Right, so 4 divided by 3. Right, okay. Then we want to times pi, and then I guess what, times radius cubed. All right. So yeah, okay, right. Okay, so we could go, well, radius times radius times radius. However, if we want cubes, yeah, okay, right, then for IG, I guess cubed is going to be this one. Yeah, the caret symbol. Yeah, I think that should be okay. And then, right, so here is going to be the sphere volume. And I guess the parameters is just going to be the radius. Yeah, that should be fine. All right, and I think for 4, yeah, right, okay, all right. So what I'm thinking is that actually if we have an output kind of after at the end, well, we also don't want to output the volume, you know, if they enter 4 as well. So probably we just want like an, yeah, okay, right, so probably we want an if statement just to check if they enter 4. Alright, and if they do enter 4, well, then we don't want to actually output anything. Alright, so I think actually we don't really need a case for if they exit. Yeah, we don't really have to do anything, right, if they exit. So let's just go end case like that. Alright, and then, yeah, what I was trying to say is basically here, we just want to output. Alright, but we only want to output if they didn't enter option 4. So let's get if menu choice is not equal to 4. Right, okay, yeah, so then what we want to do, let's go output. Right, let's say on a, yeah, volume 4 shape. Right, and then so here, this is where we round, and I think it said to 2 decimal places. Yeah, okay, right here, so rounded to 2 decimal places. Right, so what we're going to take then is going to be the volume. Right, of course we rounded there to 2 decimal places. Right, then if we just go end if, and I think, yeah, I think that should be everything. Alright, so let's just read it again, make sure we've got everything. Right, output a menu to ask the user for an input to indicate the shape for which they want to calculate the volume. Yeah, okay, I think we've got that. Right, validate the input. I mean, yeah, we've got that right obviously here. Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's no mistakes on that. Right, input the data needed to calculate, yeah, based on the formula, yeah. Create one function for each shape, yeah. Right, each function uses the input data as parameters, okay, and then, yeah, output the volume in the main program. Rounded to 2 decimal places. Alright, so yeah, okay, so I think now, I mean, hopefully that's going to work. Let's just test it. Right, so in fact, actually, yeah, okay, so let's go 0. Alright, yeah, it's going to say error, menu choice should be 1 to 4. Let's try 5, again, error. Right, so let's try 1. And yeah, alright, so, okay, yeah, okay, so let's try and choose values that we know. For example, if we go 10, and then depth of 10 and height of 10, well, that's going to be what, 10 times 10 times 10. And then, yeah, okay, so here we get 1000, right, which seems correct. Right, then let's go 2, and I think if we go, well, 10, 10, 10, right, and this should be 500, yeah, because of course we get half of that. And then, alright, yeah, so this one's going to be a bit difficult. Let's go 3, and let's go radius of the sphere. Alright, again, let's go 10. Yeah, and, okay, yeah, so I think if you do the calculation, yeah, then I think this should be the right value here. Alright, and let's go exit. Okay, yeah, and then it just exits like that. Alright, and I guess what we could do is we could just have some, like, I don't know, yeah, goodbye or something at the end. Yeah, let's say goodbye. Alright, and let's run it again, and let's just go 4. Yeah, okay, right, then of course it just says goodbye when they exit. Alright, so I think here we've actually got everything. Then of course we just want to go back and add some comments. Right, so here, let's say, alright, and yeah, okay, I guess we could actually just say right here, like, let's say initial declarations. Of course, yeah, the other 15 markers we haven't had to declare. I think this is the first 15 marker where they've said you actually do have to declare. Right, so here I guess what we can say, well, repeat while they don't choose to exit. Yeah, alright, okay, let's say, I know, continue, yeah, continue asking for new shapes, right, until they choose to exit program. Yeah, that should be fine. Right, I guess here we can just say, I don't know, show menu. Right here we can say what validate, or yeah, okay, all right, yeah. So let's say range check. Right, ensure, I know, yeah, ensure menu choice. Right is 1 to 4 inclusive. Right, okay. I guess what we can say, I don't know, calculate volume based on menu choice. Yeah, okay. Let's say that. Maybe let's say right input. Right, let's say I know your input shape parameters. Yeah, I guess let's say okay, yeah, let's say input shape parameter values. Yeah, or let's say required based on the menu choice or shape. Yeah, they chose. Yeah, I think that's fine. Right, and then okay, let's say this one here. So what this is if they don't choose to exit. So yeah, I guess if they don't choose to exit, right, then let's say yeah, then I don't know, show volume. Yeah, show volume for that shape. Yeah, that seems okay. And then I guess here we can just say, I don't know, yeah, functions to calculate volumes for specific shapes. Right, yeah, okay, let's say that 3 functions to calculate volumes for specific shapes, right, based on the input parameters. Or yeah, I guess yeah, based on their parameter values, right, their arguments. Yeah, or let's sort of say that like parameter values. Yeah, okay, I think that's fine. Alright guys, so as always then, I mean, hopefully that video is useful. Any questions, just ask in the comments, and I'll see you again in the next video.